It's great to be here. My name's Paul. I am going to be speaking on circular economies within blockchain. So, I'm Paul, co-founder of a company called Greenheart CBD, which is a seed-to-shelf producer of hemp-derived products. But we're a bit different than most of your CBD companies in the world today. We use a large fleet of technology to help farmers worldwide. Tell you a bit about myself. I previously worked for PayPal back in 2017, and I basically have a very interesting story to tell everyone today. So back in 2017, as I was working for PayPal, I started to study a thing called Bitcoin, which I'm sure everybody has heard of today. Now, Bitcoin basically in 2017 was a digital asset that was being sold through PayPal, and that's what I noticed it through a company called Xcoins. What happened is that later on that year, PayPal made me redundant, due 150 of us, and I took that redundancy and I put it into Bitcoin. Now, that was the best decision I ever made because it gave me the tools to travel the world and to learn about this technology. And I traveled everywhere from Australia to Switzerland to London to everywhere around the world, looking at companies and looking at this technology and what it can do. Now, that mission drove me to basically come back to Ireland, where I'm from, and build out a circular economy on blockchain. And how that started was with a company called Greenheart Sustainable Food Systems, which was a mobile application that connected you directly to your farmer. So what I was doing over the last 2-3 years is that I was traveling around to farms in Ireland, asking farmers to come onto my mobile application system. Now, while I was doing that, I was getting feedback off those farmers that they were in a very, very bad state of affairs. They had mortgages, they couldn't go into sustainability, and the government were not backing them. So I seen a couple of young farmers taking on their father's farm and then going into the hemp industry. It blew me away that this was being grown in Ireland and it was regulated and farmers could get into it. And my first question for that farmer was, "You must be making a fortune." He turned around and said, "He's losing money." This blew my mind. 50 acres of hemp in Ireland and the guy is losing money. So I said, "What is your problems?" He says, "We've got no infrastructure, we've got no backing, we've got no sales channels. It is an emerging industry, we don't know what we're doing." So a light bulb moment went off for me. And basically, I started Greenheart CBD. Basically, what happened is I went to a childhood friend called Mark Canavan, and he owned a distribution business in Dublin that was nationwide, that was delivering confectionery products from one end of the country to the other. So I knew he had major distribution in Ireland and he was a successful entrepreneur, so he knew how to get product out there. So that was one of the problems that I had to solve for the farmers, was distribution of product and sales. Now, the second thing was, the second thing was that I had to get them a full traceable system. So when we started to work with farmers, we jumped in with the farmers, grew 10 acres ourselves, and we had to learn on how this crop was being processed, how it was being dried, how it was being stored. And while we were doing those tests in Ireland, I should have some pictures here, we were doing a beta test on 10 acres over in Ireland. I got a phone call off a very good friend of mine, which is in the audience today, Dr. Sean Paisley, and he owned a company called Zenadrone. Now, Zenadrone was artificial intelligence drones to record plant health. And he was supposed to do a lot of beta tests over in America back in 2019, I believe. Now, what happened is that a lot of the crops got wiped out in America and he had to travel over to Ireland to do the test with us. In that time frame of the couple of weeks, while these drones were scanning over our crops and giving us all the data of how healthy our crops were, any issues that are occurring within the grow itself, we were able to notice a couple of major problems that you could see within Europe. And one of those problems would be outdoor feminization of crops. So if you were to grow hemp crops, mostly what farmers do over in America is they grow feminized seed. Now, feminized seed is where you get the female seed where it's high CBD rate. But in order to do this, it costs a lot of money and it's a high risk for the farmer. So most farmers across Europe would buy scattered seed, where it's a mix of male and female seeds. Now, me and Mark, we tried to physically go into that field and pick the males out with employees. You stress the plant out, it was too hard to do. Do you know what I mean? To be able to capture every male within the field by eye was just an extremely hard task. But we had drones flying over our crops on a daily basis, relaying multi-spectrum imaging of our fields mapped out. So what we were actually able to do is determine the difference between male and female crops using multi-spectrum imaging. Now, what we've done over the last 2 years is we've built out a drone program for farmers, which it is in the capability of a 6-foot drone that has attachments that can actually go over the crop and scan the crop, identify the male crop and remove it with the drone. So this basically gives farmers a low-cost entry point into the hemp industry, but gives them very, very high profitability. So to give you an example of this, to buy an acre of seed for hemp, it would cost mixed seed. It would cost about $130 for that acre. Very low cost. If you were to buy for 1 acre feminized seed, it could cost you up to $20,000. There's a huge difference between $130 and $20,000. So if we can use this drone technology to basically identify the males, remove the males, you make that outdoor crop very profitable at a low cost. Now, this was one of the aspects of our business. We were using this data off the drones to give back to our customers to say, this is where your products came from. This is how they were processed. This is basically all the information you need to get the quality of your products. Now, me and Mark, then after we grew the crop, we had to process it. So we went down 2 routes of this, and it was machine dry and hang dry like tobacco. Basically, we wanted to see what was the best quality, what was the best way of doing this. So if I have any pictures here, you can see we had a 20,000 square foot shed, kitted out 3 stories high of hemp. And that was only about 2.5 acres of hemp would have cleared that shed. So we then did a machine dry system where we worked with a college in Ireland that is a farming college that had a willow bark dryer. And the willow bark dryer blows hot up through the floor to dry the bark basically. But what we were able to do is we were able to top the hemp plants, put it on the back of a truck, travel it down to the college, throw it into the willow bark dryer and rotate that crop until we got it down to a 10% moisture level. Do you know what I mean? So we were able to dry mass amounts of crop very quickly using this system. Now, what we found in the 2 systems, hang drying like tobacco and machine drying in a big industrial way, is that the hang drying had the better quality. And the reason being is because the outer leaves of the plant when it came around the flower. So it kept all the lovely terpenes, the crystals of the CBD itself within the plant. And then when we took that plant and stripped it and mixed it with a seed and ran it through our technology, it gave us a very potent cold pressed CBD oil. Now, how our technology works is very, very simple, and it's very low energy, which is the important part. So we use an extraction method called a homogenized cold press. And it basically runs on 10,000 psi pressure to take the raw seed and the blend of the hemp flower. You combine it with a mixture and run it through the cold press. Now, what we done is we modified this cold press to have a very, very narrow nozzle where the oil comes out. And the reason we do that is because when the oil comes out the other end, a cativation happens, a drop in pressure. And that liaises the cells out, it means it breaks it apart. So the CBD is already broken down for the body when you ingest it. As well as that, we don't modify it in any way, shape or form. We don't add anything, we don't refine it in any way. So it is just the natural seed and the natural flower in that state. Now, we are restricted to the levels of CBD we can do with this technology. We only have 2.5% CBD and 5%. The reason being is because we grow a strain off the EU Commission list called Finola from Finland. We are restricted on the strains we can grow in Ireland, which restrictions on the percent of CBD we can get through our technology. As you know, 90% of the CBD market would use ethanol and CO2, which is a completely different extraction method. But that makes you fall under the food novelty. Because you're refining that substance and you're basically getting it between 40 and 90%, you're modifying it, so you need a food novelty license. With us, we're cold pressed, we're natural raw ingredients. We don't fall under food novelty. And the reason being is because it's just two natural ingredients cold pressed through a machine, and it gives us a very fine cold pressed CBD oil. Now, what happened is that me and Mark got this CBD and we went out onto the market, and it was astonishing what happened next. We sold into 49 countries with our flaxseed CBD oil. And the reason being is because we had a woman, Rona Cunningham, this is our extraction methods, go viral on us. So basically Rona is a mother of an autistic child. And Rona was previously purchasing her oil off a company called Charlotte's Web, which I'm sure some of you have heard of today. Charlotte's Web was restricted from sending its oil into Ireland due to the THC levels. And Rona went around many companies looking for a CBD oil that would give her the same benefit. And she couldn't find one until she found Greenheart CBD. When she found Greenheart, she had bigger effects than she had with Charlotte's Web. And this is off a 2.5% flaxseed blend. Very low percentage CBD, and she had the highest effect out of all CBD oils combined. What happened is, over a couple of week period, Joshua, which is the child, started to have eye contact, started to speak more, started to be lovely, started to interact with his sister. This blew doctors away, blew Rona away, and she became an advocate for us. What happened is that we went viral. So we ended up being featured in RSVP magazine, we were featured in Vogue, we won top 30 companies under 30 years of age, we were featured on national telly, and we started to win a lot of awards for our product. So we won the Business All-Star Awards. We were accredited in Ireland. I was accredited a thought leader in technology sustainability. And basically we just kept going from height to height. Now, what we did is that we had a full traceable system with our drones. We had a very high quality product with our extraction method. And our extraction technology is that small that we could fit it into a 40-foot container. So basically this is where we have two forms of technology that we can drop the farms worldwide and get anybody into production very, very, very fast. So we basically partnered up with multiple industries around the world. We created our own flavour of popcorn with our product, which is with the Irish Popcorn Co. And we can produce up to 300,000 packets of popcorn a day. So we've got huge manufacturing capability. We brought out a wellness range, which is a muscle balm and a body oil, and we brought out a plant-based protein range. But what we were doing is we were listening to all of our customer feedback, and they were waiting for when the discounts came out. They used to ask us, when is your 50% discount? And basically what went off in my head from being in blockchain was we need to put an economic system into our company now that it's jumped up and been so successful. So instead of a blockchain company basically taking a concept that isn't done, we built the company first. We got traction first, we got the product first, and then we implemented blockchain into our company. And how that looked is that customers were waiting for that 50% discount. And every time we did a 40 or 50% discount, we had a huge increase in sales. Huge, which means customers were waiting for that discount. So what we did is we created a token called CBD, which enables our customers a 40% discount on all of our products all the time for using our token. And how that works is that we built a mobile application that basically the customer downloads. He can then use the token to interact and purchase products with us and our partner products. But not only that, in the mobile application, we have a staking mechanism where you can stake your tokens to earn more CBD, which is up to 50% APY, which gives our customers a bigger benefit. Now, to give you an example of how powerful this is for customers, right? Our current price on our token is 3 cents, okay? We're giving a 40% discount on our product, and we have a 30ml bottle that sells for €90. Okay, so if I'm going to sell that through our cryptocurrency CBD, it's now going to be €50. But it's going to be €50 at the price of 3 cents on our token. So if you're an early adopter to our system, a customer that buys the token at 3 cents to get the discount off the product, and over 6 months' time we increase in value from 3 cents to 10 cents, well, that customer now, realistically, if he bought that token early, now gets 3x on the product. So if you're a mother that is buying product on a monthly basis for your child, month on month, because you can see the benefit, it is a very expensive product. Would you agree? So basically, what we had to do was enable this cryptocurrency system to give the mothers a reward system, but to also benefit us. And how that works is that we have a fully transparent data chain now. We record data from our farms with our drones, to our production facilities, to our mobile application with our currency. So we connect those data points up, and we store all that data on a cloud. Now, what we're doing right now is expanding worldwide with our system. We have a partner based in Wales, we have 2 partners in America, we have a partner in Thailand, and we have a partner in Panama. These partners are ready to go with our drone program and production program and to start processing CBD locally in these markets. Our marketplace, which is a mobile application, is a B2B and B2C mobile application, which means our suppliers can sign up, have a shop, and receive tokens for these products within the ecosystem. So basically, in our facilities as well, we have no waste. So we produce every part of the plant. The stem goes to decortication, the flower and seed goes through the press. After the oil is pressed, there's a plant-based protein left over, which is pelletized through the cold press, and that is all used in products. So within this 40-foot container, we have zero waste. We have a very high quality product, and it is very low cost to drop anywhere in the world. So what we're doing right now at this moment is basically expanding globally with our technology, dropping these facilities in place, recording data in these locations, and then relaying that data to a partner which is called Constellation. Now, Constellation is one of the top 100 cryptocurrencies in the world. They are NASA backed, and basically they're a data collection blockchain. Now, what they're going to do with our system is they are going to take all the data in that cloud and they are going to verify it and notarize it to basically show that this data is completely transparent and that there's no corruption or dirty money within the system. What I don't want to see is that everybody knows with cryptocurrency that a lot of dirty money goes into cryptocurrency. Everybody knows this. It's how it got so big. But what we're doing is we're building a system where when we collect that data and notarize it with Constellation, we see into the back of that financial system. We see where the money's coming from. We see the whole process. And this is where it's an uncorruptible system. It's a circular economy. All the data that is there from our farms, our production, and our financial system can be relayed back to our customers with a simple QR code on every product. They scan that QR code and up pops Constellation notarized data. That data will give you full transparency into your company and allow you to make a sound decision on whether you want to purchase your product. Now, I think that if this system is adopted by many companies across the world would be a better place, because we would be able to see into the back of companies. So how this is going to actually look is that the drones have 4K cameras. So we will have Greenheart TV, where up pops the drone footage on every farm. So you can see the crops being grown on a daily basis. Up pops our production facility and our workers, where you can see the products actually being made and processed. Up pops our digital blockchain, so you can see on BSC network every transaction that goes through the blockchain. Now, what we really want to see through this data is the adoption factor. How many people are changing from fiat currency over to our CBD token to use? Do you know what I mean? The more adoption, the more of a price increase we have in our token. Because people are going to be buying the token to use to give back to us. Now the phenomenal thing is, guys, is that basically we give 10% of all those tokens that come in through this application back to our community. And that's what fills our reward pools. So in this mobile application, you can put your tokens into a pool and earn APY. But not only that, we have a pool for farmers, our farmers worldwide. And these are augmented reality pools. So when you put in your tokens, you can actually see hemp crops appearing in the mobile application. And this is like a real world game. So you fund the farmer grows the crops, you get paid back the rewards. Basically, that's the system. And it is a very powerful system, can be adopted very, very fast. Now, we have, as you can see, been featured in many things across Ireland and internationally. We are partnered. This is basically our customer feedback and so on our products and industrial and hemp farming. But this is our mobile application that basically launches. Do you know what I mean? That gives you the integrated system using the token on how to purchase the products. We also, this is the way the data collection is going to work. So we have our Greenheart crops with our drones. We also have Greenheart production, and we have the Greenheart mobile application. The data comes into the data cloud, and then it goes into Constellation's network, and it's verified. It's that simple, guys. So, expansion. As I said, we're moving into the likes of the UK, we're moving into New Jersey and the States, and we're with 180 at the 7 nations. We've partnered with the American Indians to basically roll out this technology across the 7 nations. They're looking for a way to get into the hemp industry on how to process crops, and Greenheart system seems to be the right system for themselves. So this is where I can see many partners across the world coming on. If you have 10 acres of land, that's all you need. We can drop a drone, a box, you grow raw materials, you dry it, you put it through the box, and you've got product ready for distribution on market. We also give you the education and the training on how to sell these products, because that is the most important part. A farmer can grow and process, but how is a farmer going to sell? And that's where our brand comes behind. We're able to give them that brand, we're able to give them that representation into the market and supply our products locally instead of shipping worldwide. Do you know what I mean? We can have a production facility in every region that CBD is legal. Some of our partners that we're partnered with today within the ecosystem is the likes of Mantra DAO, which is a huge cryptocurrency, BSCPad, which is Binance's launchpad, EPAS Technology, which is building our mobile application. We have Zenadrone, which is our drone partner on our artificial intelligence drones. We have Hill International, which is one of the biggest construction companies in the world. And what they have seen is they have seen possibilities within this system. We plan on taking this a step further and going into the likes of decortication. CBD was a profitable industry to jump in with the technology. Well, we plan on bringing out a fleet of technology in decortication so you can process the fibers as well. So this is where we go into the likes of insulation, we go into bioplastics, we go into hempcrete, and we can even go into the likes of sustainable energy. There's been studies shown that hemp-derived carbon is a great store of energy. It's called a capacitor battery, and they're all over YouTube. The studies have shown that they're even more powerful than lithium and graphite in storing energy. The only problem is the voltage. You can't get high voltage out of it. But for the likes of power in homes, like a Tesla Powerwall, we can use hemp-derived batteries. These can be grown in 90 days and produced. It makes sense. So this is where we are going into this decortication. We are going into these other fleets of technologies, and we're going to be supplying them to farmers. And this is where the likes of Hill International catches on to us early and says, we want to be involved. If you're going to be producing insulation, you're going to be producing hempcrete and building materials, we want to get in early. So that's where when we go over to America with the INO, the tribe, and we start producing mass scales of hemp, this is where we'll go into the technology with, the decortication side. It's a huge sector of hemp, but CBD was the start. You needed profitability within the system. You needed to start the system with farmers, and that's what we did. But we're moving very, very fast. As you can see, we're partnered with a lot of partners, and any questions, I'd love to take them now, basically.
Cheers, guys. Thank you very much.